Looks like we just clicked live here. So this is the 21st weekly meeting here for the 61 project. If you're keeping count, so just a few more hopefully. We got a little more concise group here today. So it's just Jay and I, and I'll play the role of the schedule update here. Progressing with the sidewalk work primarily here right now. I think the focus for the sidewalk is the block between Broad and Bush. The contractor is going to make a real big effort here to get that all filled in before River City Days, which would be really ideal to have that block connected. That's really the last main portion of sidewalk on the north side. Bush to all the way down to Potter is actually pretty complete. There's a sequencing of pours necessary at all the ped ramps, the radiuses. And so there's a few of those yet that have some holes, but we're really hoping that the sidewalk work is going to be pretty complete from Broad to Potter by River City Days. So we'll see how that comes out, but it's going to be really close. Additional to the sidewalk, they just started the curb work in Potter. We were able to open Plum last week like we anticipated, and that closed Potter, and been able to start the progression of work there. They got the curbs poured yesterday, and they're going to start with the main drive lanes on Potter this week yet. So it'll be the sidewalk down by Broad and then Potter Street. And it sounds like there's going to be 2 pours in Potter. The hope is to get that done by Friday, which would allow us to hopefully close the inside lanes end of next week. Is what we're looking at to get that center lane filled. So I think if the schedule holds here, we'd be looking at next weekend having the road filled back together. It wouldn't be cured yet. The traffic would still be on the outside lanes, but all the concrete work within the road would be completed. We're looking at end of next week. So then, depending on curing and things, we're looking at the week of the 15th of having pretty much everything complete except for the trees. So that's kind of look ahead. So a lot of sidewalk in Potter this week, and then finishing sidewalk next week while Potter cures. And then if we're looking out here, it'd be 2 weeks from now. We're anticipating having most everything put together. Some of the streetlights are going to start to get installed here now, so you'll start to see those starting to take shape. And then a lot of the signal pole painting's been completed too, so those are really starting to look nice, all black. And then, as I keep mentioning, I want to reiterate, there, as a job this size and this large, there's going to be a lot of little things that need to still come together. We call it the punch list, and it's going to be lengthy on this project. And it's a necessary thing. It's a part of any project, and that's going to still relate back to stage 1. And so there'll be little details that'll be necessary to complete, and those will likely take into the fall. So just be forewarned. Things like caulking along the building sidewalk and little grout work to fill in holes here and there. We'll do it right. We want to bring it and have it to that detail, but it just takes time to do so. So don't be overly worried when we say the project's complete. We understand that those things are still necessary. So. That's really the schedule outlook. As far as understanding the significance of this coming weekend with River City Days, having the sidewalks in is going to put us in a pretty good spot. The traffic control is going to stay how it is with Plum full open. The only revision, as we talked last week, we're going to make Bush Street a right in, right out, and that will take effect Friday morning. The city's going to try to get a sweeper coordinated to come through and sweep certainly Bush Street, and maybe make a run through the whole project just to kind of get that cleaned up the best they're able. And so that would be the only traffic control change anticipated. And I think once Bush Street goes right in, right out, we keep it that way. I think the contractor is going to be able to get the work done there at Bush, so it'd stay that way until the road's back open. And then just another call out to Bush Street. Bush Street's a solid green phase right now. That's how we have it for the traffic on 61. I think we feel it's necessary to prevent that intermediate signal as far as queuing and things. The negative to that is there's a lot of folks that are wanting to cross there pedestrian-wise, and by having a solid green phase on 61, that obviously doesn't give you a stoppage of traffic to cross. So we're kind of balancing this need of both the PED users and the vehicles. We're electing to keep Bush still green. We're going to add some signing for both vehicles and PEDs, but just wanted to put a call out to just ask people to use caution. You're only crossing 2 lanes there. I mean, we've got it as defined and as short as we possibly can, but
we decided to add the signs because people were crossing there anyway. So we thought, if it's going to happen, let's get the signage up, because the pedestrians were using that intersection even though we said no crossing there. So we just want to make sure that people understand that, the safety issues that are there, and we'll get the signs up and yield to pedestrians like you're supposed to yield anywhere to pedestrians. So
yep. And then if you're a pedestrian, just make sure you're looking before you cross. You know, yep. And there's actually a good opportunity. You just have to wait a little bit, because as soon as broad goes red, all those cars typically stop there. So there's a safe opportunity to do so. It's just not exactly at that intersection like it normally would be. But we feel it. People are going to cross here anyway, so we're going to try to make it as safe as we can, and just ask some extra caution there, especially understanding how busy it's going to be this weekend. I feel like we should just make River City Days a full week, because you can already feel the effects of it. And we're only Tuesday, so forget this Friday stuff. It's started, but beyond that though, that's the condition we anticipate for the weekend for the Main Street project. So really going to take shape here over the next 2 weeks, to the extent that we're done here. So. And then I think Jay is going to do a Levy Road update.
Yeah, I'll give a Levy Road update, then we'll open up for some questions on both projects. I went through a walkthrough this morning with the contractor on Levy Road and looked at things that really came together. We got railing. We got 95% of the railing along the boathouses in. I'm assured that the rest of it will be put in either this afternoon or tomorrow, so that'll all be safe and secure along the trail. We did have an issue with the bituminous plant broke down, so that will. We're still. I've got to call into the subcontractor trying to see exactly schedule wise, but it's looking like for sure we'll have the trail. There's one section of trail that still needs pavement along the main river trail, and then there's some trail paving over near the roundabout that needs to be done. And yesterday they assured the contractor that the trail paving will be done. However, I'm not sure he's going to be able to get all of the roadway paving, the last lift of the roadway. Not roadway, but more of the parking lot and the connections to at the roundabout, which are drivable right now. I mean, it's still going to be drivable. It's just the final lift may not be on before River City Days. That doesn't mean we're not going to open up the parking lot. We still plan to open it, and we plan to do temporary striping on the lower lift that's there right now, so it gets organized near the boathouses and get all those stalls temporary striped, and then, you know, in the coming weeks we'll put the final lift of pavement on there, which you know, we were planning on trying to have it all done, but with the plant breakdown, they've got it up and running again, but they have some state jobs they're working on before they're coming back tomorrow and Thursday to do at least the trails. I said, can you get back and get our trails paved, because we're having the trail ribbon cutting, and we want to kind of have the pedestrian things put back together. The cars can drive on the lower lift, but I'd rather not have gravel for the trail surfaces. So we've been assured about the trails being paved. So I'll keep you updated on that, Patty, if I hear something different on that. But that's at least the trails in place.
I think the temp chalk marks is going to be huge too, because people are parking all kinds of crazy ways. They don't know what to do down there.
Yeah,
I've seen a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and the idea was if we got the final lift of paving in, we were going to have the permanent striping put in. It was great. We'd be all done with it. But without that final lift, I thought, well, we do need to get it organized so people know how to park in that. And now that you said that, also the signage is coming in tomorrow. So the street signs that tell the do not enter this side, and those kind of signs, one way in.
Okay, good.
The roundabout signage that directs people how to use the roundabout. That's all been ordered and is going to be put in place prior to opening the road for River City Days. So everything's staying the same as the update I gave last week, except that final lift of pavement. So we're really looking at having things really in order, barrels moved out of there that we don't need, construction signage moved out of there and stacked along the trailer and stored away. Silt fences that are no longer needed are being removed, dressing things up. There's some final seeding that's going on this week, some seeding and matting on some of the black dirt areas. So that's all still progressing forward. So, and as I said last week, all entrances to the park will be open, so you'll be able to access down there. Withers Harbor, Jackson, or Broad, all be open for the weekend. So, just there's still a construction area. There's still edges and lips of curb and things that you just have to be careful when you're out around there. It's not completely finished off, so we just ask that people, pedestrians and vehicles alike, just be cautious down there. It's still a construction zone, but we're doing everything we can to make it as safe as possible, and any drop-offs or anything like that near the riprap, we're putting in railing and those kind of things. So we should have it in good shape come Thursday. I'm doing a walkthrough with the contractor again tomorrow afternoon, and then one more Thursday afternoon, just to kind of clean up the final items that we see out there. So with that, any other questions on either job, Main Street or Levy Road?
Sorry to be thick about this. When you say that Bush Street will be a right-in, right-out, what is that?
So only accessible from
Well, the question is about Bush Street, right in, right out.
So Bush Street, right in, right out. What that means is only accessible to and from northbound 61. So we'll leave the tubes through there, separating northbound and southbound. So essentially, to make it as simple as possible, it's going to look exactly like the south side, except you can't cross it. So you can't cross 61 at Bush going either north to south or south to north, but you can turn on to Bush from 61 and then likewise get back on 61
From Bush.
Yeah. On the north side. So there'd be a temporary stop sign there. And the thought process is just understanding the significance of a levee. It would give folks another alternative than going down to Broad to peel off and get down to Levy Street and Levy Road.
Or come out of the levee.
Or come out.
Yeah, if you're down at the depot and want to come up Bush, and now you can come up Bush and take a right onto the highway. You can't go across the highway and you can't take a left, but you can come up past the St. James and take a right and head west. So it allows a little more access to the north side there. We thought that would be good with River City Days, just to give another in and out.
So then just to put that, into complete perspective, and the reason it can only be right in, right out is because it's not a functioning signal right now. It's just a solid green bulb. So a guy could make that full access and allow every movement, but then you would have the red phase at Bush, and we're concerned about the queue into 61 just being down to one lane. So it's the best we can do by keeping Bush still a through movement for 61. So good question.
Yep, very good.
Any other questions or concerns at all?
I do want to add that this morning I had a short meeting before I came up to our Main Street meeting with the Vice President of Operations for the riverboat that was here, and Mike Wilson, who delivers fuel and things for that. And we're talking about access and trying to improve how their buses and their delivery trucks get in there with the changes that we've done at the levee parking lot. And we had a good meeting that we think we can find some good ways to get it safe in there with the trucks that they need and their buses. They do have the buses coming in and out of there as well. So I think there's some things we can do to improve that as long as they were in town, I thought, and I was down there for our Levy Road meeting, it made sense to meet with them for 10, 15 minutes and discuss some changes right along there that we can do for safety. So we're going to be exploring that and coming back with maybe some small internal projects that would be done with our public works to try to help out the riverboat traffic. So that was a positive as well. Any questions?
No, just comment. We
Okay.
just want to thank you so much for everything you've done. I know this has been a big stretch to get this all done for River City Days, but it will just be so needed and will improve the safety of the thousands of people that are going to start arriving or
Yeah.
have already.
Yeah.
So we really, really appreciate all your work. I know it's been a lot and a lot of people working really hard to make this happen, but we really, really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Contractor really did a great job on moving kind of operations to focus on some areas, and I think it was a give and take. We worked with them up on Main knowing what was important, but we also knew there was a lot of things that we needed done down on Levy that truthfully their contract was longer down on Levy. They had more time to finish, but they remobilized and changed their focus on some of the items to really help us get things put together down there. So the contractors, did a lot for us as well. Thank you. All right, thanks for coming.